Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. Let me just check once. So the topic for today is introduction to transpiration. So we'll discuss about the types of transpiration that is there. That is lenticular, or lenticular transpiration, cuticular transpiration, and the main one, the stomatal transpiration as well. Okay. So this one is about the transpiration, and let's have a look at the types of transpiration here. One second. Okay, so I'm live here. All right. So let's get started. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology and the Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. So this link you can find in the description box. So go to the description box. So there you will find the link of Unacademy channel. So that is basically the link of the Telegram group, and also you will find the link for the special classes, and with that there is a community link as well. So that is my community link and the bugs bounty link. So you can have access to any of these, that is through the description box. So we'll be conducting special classes that is on Unacademy platform. So you can learn live from the comfort of your home. So this is anyway there. So learn from your favorite educator for free. So these are free classes that are conducted on Unacademy platform where you can learn live from your home. And basically all the educators are having a free classes there, certain percentage of a certain topic, only a few topics will be covered here. But if it is a plus class, that is a subscribe class, so basically 100% syllabus coverage will be there. So here in special classes only certain topics are being covered. So engage with educators via poll. You can also clear your doubt in the live special class. So there is a question tab during a live session where you can click on that. You have an option to type in your question, attach an image and send it to the educator during a live session. So they'll be getting a notification that the learner has asked the doubt and will be clearing your doubt. So also we'll be conducting a quiz there, so you can take part in those quiz, and at the end of the quiz we'll be sharing the leaderboard so that you can know your rank and also compete with your friends. And for the top 3 we'll be giving the certificates also for this quiz, so you can take part in these quizzes. Okay, now like I said, for the top special classes you can visit the link in the description. Now Unacademy subscription features, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. So this is about the plus class where the 100% syllabus coverage will be done. So you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Unlimited access to all the courses will be there. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. And here as it is mentioned, unlimited access to all the courses. So that means basically different educators will come up with different courses, so you will have access to all the courses once you take the subscription. Regular doubt clearing session will be kept, so that is after about every 3 session the 4th session will be our doubt clearing session. So whatever doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubt in the doubt clearing session. Okay, so if there is no doubt, so basically we can give you the quiz also, so we can practice through the poll, or diagram based question discussion can also be done. Okay, so basically it is more of a discussion session which will be conducted after about every 3 sessions. So this is going to help you clear your doubt as well, like to practice the different types of questions that are there. So complete syllabus coverage will be there, mentorship and guidance will be given, the study material is given, the practice tests are also conducted. So the study material is basically in the form of PDF itself. So we'll be uploading that PDF, and you will have access to download the PDF too. Okay, and also we'll be conducting live test series, the batch courses will be there, and with that there is a daily practice section that is there, weekly mock test series are conducted, live quizzes are conducted, daily MCQ and subjective test series are also there. So once you take the subscription, that is plus subscription, you will have access to all of this and you can take part in this. So now Unacademy plus subscription pricing. So in this we have a offer where if you are subscribing for class 12, okay, so let's say now we are in class 10, so you can go with the 12 months of subscription. So that is for 12 months, so that is complete class 10. Okay, so in that case you will be getting class 11 and class 12 subscription absolutely free, along with your class 10 subscription that you have taken. So for that you can use the code VANIYT. So this is the code where you will be getting 10% discount on the subscription. So this is the code that you can use, VANIYT, to get 10% discount, that is on 12 months of subscription. Okay, or otherwise if you just want to try like how exactly this works, you can even try with 3 months, 6 months or a 9 months. And if you have planned well and you want to go for higher classes subscription as well, then in that case you can go even with 18 months or 24 months of subscription as well. So this is completely your choice, and you can have a don't forget to mention the code there, that is the referral code VANIYT, to get discount on the subscription. So here itself you can go for any of these months of subscription, but don't forget to mention the code, because only with the code there is a reduction in cost that you can see. All right, so let's get started. So this is about the transpiration. Okay, so I hope this is visible. Let me just make changes, slight changes. Okay, so transpiration, when we mention, so when you start studying a particular chapter, so just make sure that you have looked into the syllabus as well as scope of syllabus which is given there. Okay, so I'll just move this a bit so that I'm not coming in between there. All right, so let's see this. Okay, so now this is with respect to transpiration. So syllabus is basically whenever you start preparing a particular chapter, make sure that you have a look at the syllabus and the scope of the syllabus. And this one is basically from the Selena textbook. Okay, so this one I have added from Selena textbook. And don't forget to look at the syllabus as well as the scope of syllabus. Syllabus will tell you what all you need to study, and scope of syllabus will give you a particular idea which topic that you need to stress on. So in that case, the transpiration under syllabus, there is a transpiration, its process and significance that you need to know. The experimental work, so that is including loss and weight of a potted plant, what exactly happens. So all the experimental setup, the control setup which is given, so how exactly comparison so how exactly comparison study that can be done. So experimental work includes the loss of weight of a potted plant or of a leafy shoot in the test tube, the use of cobalt chloride paper, the Genong's photometer and its limitation, and the effect of the external conditions on the rate of water loss that should be stressed here. Then under the scope of syllabus, the mechanism of stomatal transpiration that must be explained. so that the concept of the process is clear. So how exactly the water movement occurs, so that should be seen. Adaptations in plan to reduce the transpiration to be discussed, like different factors and the adaptations are to be discussed. A brief idea of the guttation and bleeding should be given. So there is a term called as guttation, there is a term called as bleeding, so we'll be discussing about that as well. All right, so just a second, any of you have any doubt? Is there any doubt? All right, so no doubt then. Just a second. Why it is getting like this? Okay. Okay, so let's see what exactly is transpiration. So transpiration is a very useful process that is for plants for two reasons. Okay, so one is creating a suction force. What is that suction force? So basically you can see that the water is moving up through the xylem. So xylem, you know that it is unidirectional, where you can see that the water is being transported from root to the upper parts of the plant body. So that means it is moving against the gravity, and for that there is a pull that is needed. Okay, so somebody has to pull the water up, right? So there is no motor or anything. So in that case there has to be a suction force that is to be created, and by that basically the water is moving upward, so that is against the gravity. As you know that xylem is unidirectional, so in that case, so creating a suction force in the stem to enable the root the absorbs. So this is basically the roots are gonna absorb this water and mineral nutrients. Okay, so that is because there is a suction pull or a suction force is created at the top, as the water loss has occurred because of the transpiration. So transpiration is what? Water loss in the form of a vapor. Okay, so now as the water loss is done, so basically you can see that so suction pull is created. So there is a pressure created at the top or the aerial parts of the plant body, because water loss is there and these cells which are there, so they require a water, and that is the reason. So there is a vacuum or there is a force that is created, which will enable the root to absorb more and more water as well as minerals, and this can be transported upward, that is through the xylem there. Okay, so this is one function, and the other one is cooling the plant in the hot weather. So if the temperature is hot, so cooling effect is given. Okay, so in that case cooling the plant in the hot condition, so this is done by the transpiration itself. So that is water loss you can see in the form of vapor. So for that again there is, so this is also again taken from the Selena itself. All right, so cooling the plant in the hot weather, so this is done by the transpiration. So there is too much of a sunlight. Okay, and as the water loss is happening, so we all know that absorption of water, when we mention, so water is anyway getting absorbed, so that is about 100% if we mention. In that the transpiration, like whatever amount of water that is absorbed, so about that 98% of the water is basically the transpired water. The rest 2% is basically used for photosynthesis and other activities there. Okay, so that means whatever water is absorbed, all that water is basically lost. So water absorption occurs and there is a transpiration that occurs. Only about 2% of water is used for photosynthesis and other activities. Okay, so in that case, now cooling the plant in the hot weather, so this is done by the transpiration, as the water loss occurs through the water vapor, and the process is demonstrated and studied by a number of experiments, which are very interesting to perform. So some of the experiments you will anyway be performing in your laboratories, that is school laboratories. So let's have a look at what exactly is the transpiration. So transpiration, so this is again taken from the Selena itself. So transpiration is the evaporative loss of water, that is from the aerial parts, that is the upper parts of the plant body, the leaves as well as the stem of the plant. Okay, or transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor, that is from the leaves and the aerial parts of the plant. Okay, so just make sure you can write any of these definitions. So just make sure that you are writing the loss of water in the form of a vapor that can be done through the aerial parts and the leaves. Okay, so then all plants continuously absorb water, so you can see absorption of water, that is by their roots. So this we have already seen. So this water is conducted upward, so there is a upward conduction of water that you can see through the stem and is distributed to all the aerial parts and including the leaves. So in that case, now we know all the aerial parts of the plant body, so they are getting the water because there is a water absorption that is happening. So now as we mentioned, so this water is conducted. So whatever water is absorbed, so all that water is transported upward or it is conducted upward, that is through the stem. And almost all the parts of the plant body, especially the aerial parts and all, are getting a sufficient amount of water there. So now only a small quantity of this water, that is about 2%, is used by the plant in the photosynthesis and other activity. The rest of it is almost lost to the atmosphere as the water vapor during the transpiration. So that means 100% is the water absorption if we mention. Okay, so is equal to 98% is what? 98% is transpiration. The remaining 2% water is what? This is used for photosynthesis and the other activities by the plant body. So that means only 2% is used up. So 100% water absorption, 98% is basically a transpiration itself. So let's have a look at this. So this picture I have taken. So some of the pictures I have added here. So this is posted by Dr. Samant. Okay, 1 second. So Dr. Samant difference between .com. So in that case, you can just have a look at this picture. So there is a cuticular transpiration. Okay. So this one is with respect to cuticular transpiration. This one is with respect to stomatal transpiration. This one is with respect to lenticular transpiration. So different types of transpiration that you can see: stomatal, cuticular and lenticular transpiration. So now you see this. Okay, so this is what? These are the stomatal apparatus. So this one is the cuticle and this one is the lenticle. Just a second. Okay, so there are types of transpiration that we are going to look into today. So that is the kinds of transpiration. So transpiration from the aerial parts of the plant. So this occurs from 3 different regions. Okay, so you can see the transpiration occurring from 3 different regions. 1 second. Alright. So transpiration occurring from 3 different regions. So one is through the stomata, the other one is through the cuticle, and then there is a lenticular transpiration. So now from the leaves, that is through the stomata. So this is basically leaf. When we draw a structure of a leaf, so basically there is a ventral surface and then there is a dorsal surface. Okay, so let's say below is ventral, the upper one is basically a dorsal one. Okay, so this one is the dorsal surface. So here you can find only few stomata. Okay, so that is at the dorsal you can find few stomata, but on the ventral side so many stomata are present there. Okay, so that is you can see n number of stomata, basically many stomata you can find on the ventral side. So more transpiration is gonna be seen on the ventral side as compared to the dorsal side. So now from the leaves, that is through the stomata, so stomatal transpiration occurs now directly from the surface of the leaves and then the stem. I'm really sorry. Okay, so directly from the surface of the leaves and as well as the stem, so that is basically the cuticular. So you can have a look at this one. So now this is the surface of the leaf here. Okay, and you can see the water has been condensed there. So this is basically water loss you can see through the cuticle, so which can even be present on the stem as such. So that is basically a cuticular transpiration. Okay, so there is a cuticular transpiration, there is a stomatal transpiration that occurs. Now from the lenticel, so which is basically a minute opening on the surface of old stem, so lenticular transpiration also you can see. So this picture will clearly show you or give you a idea. So I'll just clear this up. Okay, I hope this is visible. Just a second. Alright, so now this one, these are called as lenticels. Here the stomata can open and close. Okay, so this one, the stomata, when we mention, so this can open and close. So this one anyway, it is through the surface only, basically that is through the cuticle itself, the transpiration occurring. So there is no concept of open or close. Here these you can see, these look always open, so these are always open, so they are not gonna close as such. Okay, so lenticular transpirations are basically the openings that you can find on the old stem of the plant or basically a tree. So these are all lenticels. Okay, so through this also the gaseous exchange can occur, and here you can see these are the opening on the surface of a old stem. So the major part of the transpiration that occurs through the stomata, basically like maximum amount of transpiration you can see through the stomata itself. So whereas the other two types of transpiration contribute very little, so cuticular is the next one, lenticular, it is very less amount of transpiration that can be seen. So now this is in a hilly regions when we mention. Okay, so hilly region, since it is more closer to sun. Okay, so this is what more closer to sun you can see. Okay, and as it is more closer to sun, so what exactly happens here, basically you can see that there is a hot temperature. That temperature, I mean atmosphere anyway, it is cool itself. Okay, but the temperature is too hot because it is in the hilly region as it is closer to the sun. So due to higher temperature mainly, so you can see there is a transpiration that is occurring. So as the transpiration occurs, so basically there is a formation of water vapor that will occur. So there is a water vapor formation which can be seen. Okay, so lot of water or humidity is supplied to the surface there. Now cuticular transpiration, so cuticle is a waxy layer secreted by the epidermis that is on the two surface of the leaf. So that means there is upper epidermis. So let's say this one is the upper epidermis having many cells here as such. Okay, then there is a cuticle covering this part. So this one is the upper epidermis that you can find. Now below you can find there is a palisade mesophyll cells you can find there. Okay, so this one is the palisade mesophyll, And also you can find there is a spongy mesophil. So below you can find there is a spongy mesophil. Okay, so this one is basically the substomatal space will be there, and you can find there is the lower epidermis as well. So let's see, this one is the lower epidermis with the guard cells here and there. So this one guard cell if we mention, so this is basically the lower epidermis. Okay, and the lower epidermis is also covered by the cuticle, but comparatively it is anyway very less. So the lower epidermis is also covered by the cuticle there. So cuticle is a waxy layer secreted by the epidermis that is on the two surfaces of the leaf. So thickness of the cuticle varies from plant to plant. So xerophytes, it is more thicker because in desert areas usually you do not find much of a water. So these have to store the water as much as possible. So it just doesn't keep on allowing the transpiration to occur. So that doesn't happen. So thickness of the cuticle is going to vary, that is from plant to plant. So primarily the cuticle serves to prevent the evaporation of water that is from the leaf surface. So however, some evaporation does occur. So in that case, greater the thickness of the cuticle, the lesser is the evaporation. So that is basically a transpiration. So transpiration is going to be less if the cuticle is thicker. So you can see in this diagram, so cuticle if it is thicker as such, or maybe I can just highlight this, just a second. Yeah, so let's say this is a thicker cuticle that you can find. So we can maybe draw even more thicker. So here also it is a thicker cuticle that can be found. So with respect to that, now cuticle, so this is what this one is, cuticle. Okay, where the cuticular transpiration can be seen. So this is also a cuticle itself. So with respect to this, so basically what you can feel is, so if the cuticle is thicker, so there is less transpiration. If the cuticle is more, so there is very less, more transpiration. Okay, so desert plants tend to have high, basically they are having a thicker cuticle because very less availability of water is there. That is to cut down the transpirations. Basically the transpiration is not going to be seen there. All right, any doubt? Now lenticular transpiration. So in lenticular transpiration, lenticels are special openings that develop on the older stem in place of a stomata. So that means earlier there was a stomata. Okay, and now so as the plant has got matured, or we can say old plant or an old tree, so whatever stomata were there on the stem have now become the lenticels. So lenticels are special openings that develop on the older stem that is in place of a stomata. So these allow diffusion of gases for respiration as well as for photosynthesis. So gaseous exchange can anyway occur through this lenticular transpiration as well. Are you all understanding? Any doubt? Yes, I hope there are no doubts. Okay, so let's see this. So these allow diffusion of gases for respiration. So that is for respiration, what exactly is required? Oxygen is required, and the carbon dioxide is given out. Okay, as well as for photosynthesis. Now for photosynthesis, what is required? Carbon dioxide is required and oxygen is given out. So in all these cases, for photosynthesis as well as for respiration, so this allows the exchange of gases to occur. Okay, Now you know the lenticels never close, so they'll never close, they remain open all the time. So these lenticels, so these are open all the time because you know the lenticular transpiration when we mentioned, just a second. So as they do not open and close, so basically they are always open because these were produced, the lenticels are produced in the place of a stomata which was there earlier, so that had got the capacity to close and you know the close as well as open. But here the lenticels are always open because this is a mature stem and there are no live cells as such present. So these are the always like you know open type of cells or lenticels which are there for the gaseous section. So lenticels never close, they remain open all the time. So water from the cell surface directly facing the lenticel evaporates and contributes to the transpiration. So now the amount of transpiration from the lenticels is certainly more than the cuticular transpiration. So which comes first? First it is the stomatal transpiration. Okay, so first is which one? The first one is basically you can see stomatal transpiration. Next comes, you can see the amount of transpiration from lenticels is certainly more than the cuticular. So that means comes next comes the lenticular transpiration. Then there is cuticular transpiration that can be seen next. So cuticular transpiration, so but very much less than the stomatal transpiration. So stomatal transpiration is the highest, next is lenticular, and then there is a cuticular. So stomatal transpiration is controlled by the plant. So that is basically by adjusting the size of the stoma, whereas this does not happen in the case of a cuticular or a lenticular transpiration. Any doubt till here? Any of you? Just a second, I cannot find this one. Alright. So water lost during transpiration. Yeah. So this contains minerals, it contains salt or is pure water and contains dissolved nutrients. So it is a pure water. Okay. So the opening of stomata is controlled by what? So that is number of guard cells, amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, amount of oxygen in the atmosphere, or the turgidity of guard cells. So opening of the stomata is depending on the turgidity, so whether the cell is turgid or a flaccid. So if the guard cell is turgid, the stomata is open. If the guard cell is flaccid, okay, so flaccid is basically you know the all the water content is lost, so in that case the stoma or the stomata what we mentioned, so that will be closed. So transpiration means transport of water up to the leaves, loss of water from the leaves, ascent of sap upward in a plant, vertical rise of water against the gravity. Any idea? Yes, what is the answer for this? Any of you or all of you? No idea? Okay, 1 second. Okay, so transpiration means it is basically loss of water from the leaves. So that is in the form of a vapor here. Okay, so transpiration is best defined as loss of water by the plant, evaporation of water from the aerial surface of the plant, loss of water as water vapor by the plant, release of water by a plant into the atmosphere, loss of water as water vapor by the plant. So which is the right one? So anyway, this is the right answer. So this one anyway, the answer is given over here. Okay. So this part I'll just, I'll just highlight this. So anyway, the answer for this being, so this is basically, this is answer is given there. So this is loss of water as water vapor, so that is by a plant. So now if the cobalt chloride paper turns pink, so it shows photosynthesis, transpiration, respiration, none of the above. What is the answer for this? If the cobalt chloride paper, so you know that when the cobalt chloride paper, so basically it is blue in color, okay. So the cobalt chloride paper which is blue in color, so this will turn to pink when it absorbs the water. So that means it is coming in contact with the water, so this is gonna turn pink. All right, so that is, as the transpiration occurs, so this blue paper is gonna turn pink. So the transpiration process is occurring there. So transpiration will be fastest when the day is cool, humid and windy, hot, humid and still, hot, humid and windy, hot, dry and windy. So when is it fastest? Yes, no idea. So can you guys see that options there? Isn't it clear? Is that clear? No? Anyway, so transpiration will be fastest when the day is hot, dry and windy. So this one, I think this is not visible to you clearly. So when the temperature is hot, it is dry condition outside and it is windy. So that is when you can see that the transpiration rate is high. So most of the transpiration in tall trees occur through. So this is through the, in case of tall trees. So stomata, lenticels, cuticle and bark. So that is with respect to most of the transpiration in tall trees. So how exactly the transpiration occurs here? No idea? Okay. So most of the transpiration in tall trees, so this occurs through the stomata itself. So maximum transpiration is through which one? So lenticel, so this should be lenticel, okay. Then stomata, cuticle and root surface. So maximum transpiration, okay, so this is basically done through the stomata again itself. So we have these batches. So there is a gladiators batch which is basically a PCMB, like all the subjects physics, chemistry, maths and biology will be covered. So if you are subscribing for class 10, so you will be getting class 11 and class 12 subscription absolutely free along with this. Yes, since it started on 1st of June, so basically some of the classes are done, and you have an option to watch the recordings of those sessions. And but yes, there are many more sessions which are yet to go live, so those sessions you can take up live sessions there, okay. And here the mode of delivery is English. You can make a note of this time, so the timings are different. 4 to 5 p.m. for maths, physics it is 7:45 to 8:45. Then chemistry it is 7:45 to 8:45 on a different day, that is Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. And biology it is basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so that is 6:30 to 7:30. So you will have, these are at different times, so you will have access to all of this, so you can go with these classes. So introducing community, so never miss on any update from favorite educator. So that is basically your favorite educator. So get session notes and practice material. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. So check out the link to the educator community, so that is below here in the description box. Okay, I hope this is clear. All right. All right then, so see you all in the next session, because this is not moving. I think this got stuck. All right, anyway, so see you all in the next session. So subscribe to our channel. So there is a Bucks Bounty link also that is available, so you can click on the link if you find any inappropriate content in the video. And other than that, so the time is up, so I'll be just ending this session. So see you all in the next session, so that is tomorrow at the same time. Okay, so subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get notified about the classes. Download the Unacademy Learners app and start taking session. Like and share the video. Okay, so that is with your friends. So see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone. Thank you all.